Hi everyone, my name is Iben, and welcome to a brand new episode of Koali. And I have with me, as always, the incredible Mr. Rudi Rennkamel.
Yeah, my name is not Eben, but it's great to be here. It's actually freaking funny that we are here because Eben just asked a couple days earlier about Koali, and I didn't even know we were still building in Koali. So here we are.
I've been working on Koali for like the longest time, and we don't even have to do an introduction of this video. I think everyone knows why we're here. We're going to take a look at the new Twilight Pack, and
That's
I
right.
want I wanted to do it in Koali for multiple reasons. But when I was thinking about which section am I going to work on, I landed in the Australian section for once. I also did something else in another part of the zoo. But I'm really happy that I picked this for this section because with that I can prove that the scenery of this pack is quite versatile.
That's good. Yeah,
And
that's
it's
really good.
yeah. I think a few of us were like, "Oh no, this can't be Arctic Pack Part 2," but I consider it more Europe Pack Part 2 add-on. I don't know how to call it.
Yeah, I gotta say though, I wasn't sold until we had the pack at hand, truth to be told.
Same.
And then I did like something I haven't done before. I put all the flexicolor pieces on one ground, and I put all the non-flexi pieces on the other ground. And I think on the non-flexicolor space there were only like 9 items or so, and the rest of the set is like full flexicolor. So that has been mighty different in the past. So that's first big props to Frontier. And then this time around they managed to squeeze in a very versatile set, in my opinion. So I totally get it. It's for me personally, it's somewhere after conservation and Europe in terms of quality of pieces, but just very, 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 very minor differences there.
Yeah. So the cool things is we get recolorable chains. This piece of roof is in the roof.
It is so good. I know it's that kind of iron chain, kind of whatever Twilight.
Exactly.
It's so good. I saw that immediately. It's such a cool, like, corrugated roof piece. You can also, because it's flexicolor, we can finally do some really great copper roofs. Like, the copper is one of the pieces that is most annoying in the game because it's looking absolutely great, but there is nearly no grid only piece, not grid only, off grid piece. They're all just you can hear it from our voice. I'm just like, give me the pieces.
So yeah, I did a few things, and the first thing I'm going to show is that space over there because last time I checked, when I was here with the lady, she talked about, I have a section over here. I'm not.
Oh, wait a sec. Sorry to interrupt. Can you just lean to the right and show the habitat again? Because I think we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, like the two of us, but without recording. And I just want to give that little praise to the lady because I think the episode just slipped through at some point because it was one of these episodes where they actually did something else and then she did this. This revamp is one of the greatest revamps of a habitat I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it's so cool how she did this back then, and I just wanted to quickly put that in because the work, I mean, in general, she has improved dramatically, one has to say, but this one over here is one of the examples to why. So I just wanted to quickly mention that because we were talking about that last time, so here you go.
Honestly, if she hadn't updated this habitat, I don't think I would have worked in this area. This was such a huge inspiration.
She opened that area up again. She like totally turned on the green lights again on this area.
It's insane. But yeah, she had a small area over here she wasn't happy with. And I added
my god,
a cool little thing.
So I love the fungus there on the left. That's so good.
So Australia is known for spiders, and we don't have Australian spiders in the game, so I had to improvise a little bit. But one of the things that we got in this new pack are...
Oh, I see what you did here. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Are amazing new decal pieces. Spiders, spider webs, all kinds of cool stuff. And they are super versatile. And they glow in the dark, but you can turn off the glow color separately. So I'm so freaking happy about that.
Actually, can we just quickly talk about that? This is the first time ever Frontier did this. Am I right?
Yes, exactly. I'm so thrilled that I finally did this.
Like, this is... I mean, I'm still not entirely sure why they didn't do a toggle or a slider, but it's fine. So really cool. Oh, that's like a spider head on the left-hand side.
That's
so good.
Giant spider head.
I thought that's like a gigantic microscope, but then I was like, how many eyes do the people have to just use it?
So usually spiders have 8 eyes. And then I found that there are spiders with 6 eyes. I'm like, okay, cool, because I can't figure out how to make 8 eyes here because it doesn't look good. So I'm very happy that there was.
But honestly, it shows again how many small pieces we have. I mean, I think some of the new pieces you used over here, and they're so good, so small also.
I love them so freaking much. So yeah, that was my first thing that I made, and of course I did a little bit more. Because we also got a few really cool animals.
Oh yeah, and you did put the educational post in the ground, didn't you? Yeah. I mean, for those of you who don't know, guys out there, this means a lot of work. Usually it doesn't, but if the area is already set and you have to do it afterwards, then it takes work.
Yep. We're also on pause mode because Koali is getting really, really. Really big, and I forgot to put out to get rid of a bunch of guests.
So that area over here is brand new, isn't it?
Yep, it's complete.
That is amazing. I love the build. I'm
try to have some guests moving around here, but I don't think.
Oh wow, yeah, that feels like my Yosemite.
I'll just pause it again just because I wanted to have this. So when I saw the stalactites, I was like, okay, for what can we use this? Is there anything I can use this for that isn't a stalactite? And then I saw pictures of termite towers in Australia.
Oh boy.
So I made this entire section with termite towers, and I think they worked out really well. I think my game is also auto-saving for a moment. But yeah, I liked this so much, and I integrated a giraffe piece in here so that kids would come and stand and like, oh, look how big these towers are. And there's
clever.
There's a attempt. I didn't have time to completely finish it, but there's an attempt here at like, oh, cool, this is how a termite mound would look like on the inside.
I love the fact that you okay, sorry, but it's like you go so much in detail and go crazy with the pieces that it seems like you just forgot about the fact we have like
billboards. We have billboards and stuff. I realized that. Like, I think I realized that like a half hour before we started recording, and then I was like, yeah, but I still need to fix up other stuff, so I'm just going to do it.
It's so good because like, yeah, you could have even made them moving, you know?
Yeah. Oh, damn, yeah.
Just took a video from the web, you know, just get one.
Okay, yeah. So, moving on. We also got brand new roof pieces, and I'm not using any kind of free build.
This is so clever.
Yes, I'm not using any kind of free build trickery. This is just they gave us actual panels for the roof, and of course these look exactly like scales, so you can actually use them and make it like, oh, you can.
I mean, the roofs are inspired by scales anyway, so that just makes sense.
So it works really well. I'm quite happy with this little area. I mean, we finally have an Australian area that is more than just one, than 2 exhibits.
And also, this was one of the little blank spots in the zoo, so I love it. We always thought about what the hell is going on in this area. It just like it had such a weird space because it's so close to the aviary, which I thought by this time would be functional. But hey, here am I.
We're not there yet. We're not there. And I was talking about 2 exhibits. Well, we finally also have another animal here. I'm gonna try to unpause my game for a minute again.
There you go. I mean, it makes sense which one it is.
And it's a wombat, and I'm so freaking happy that we finally have them.
Gosh.
Especially
looking
because
really good.
The people who don't know me and who don't know this story, there was a zoo in Belgium that has wombats, or I have to say had wombats, and I've been there for 5 years in a row, and every single time I was there, they didn't show.
No. And now they're gone.
Yeah, now they're gone. And I was getting to a point where I stopped believing that wombats were a thing. So I was like, no, they don't exist. That's impossible. And now they release this animal in a pack that has all kinds of spooky and Halloween and fantasy things. So I'm starting to think these are imaginary animals, and this is our first imaginary animal.
This might well be. I mean, at least it would tell me the story why it is in the pack. So don't get me wrong. I love the animal, but I can't fill in the storyline. I'm sorry, I just can't. Like, you know, I get all the other animals, but I just like, why is the wombat in?
Yeah, but to be honest, I'm quite glad that the wombat is in. I like the skunk and the raccoon. The red fox doesn't really do anything for me. But
it looks good though.
Yeah, it looks good. I think we're at a point where we can basically go, okay, the only thing that sometimes doesn't look good, and I'm putting quotation marks here, sometimes an animal is stylized, but that's like the only thing you can still critique about these animals.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's mostly a minor thing, so I don't really care about that. Like, in the past few packs, and I'm talking almost back to like Southeast Asia, I think there hasn't been a single animal that I was thinking about, oh no, this doesn't look good. Like, quality-wise, they have this completely under control now. They're masters of what they...
Even so much that honestly, I'm seeing the log. Okay, sorry, this is my weird mind. Can you just go to the right side again, to the back of the log? Just go over to the right hand side again and have a look at the log there. This on there. So look at this. Okay, from over here. And I was thinking about the lion. So this looks like a lion face, right? Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so
and I absolutely hate you now, Rudi, because for the rest of my life, I'm never going to be able to see anything other than a lion's head.
But hear me out. Even this log has a more lion-like face than the actual lion in game. It's as much as I love all the animals in the game, I think Frontier at some point, like if they look at it themselves, they have to change a couple of animals. And
yes.
I mean, I told the story already once, I guess. I truly believe that the lion was amongst the first, let's say, 10 animals they ever did. Maybe as a test or whatnot. So I'm quite certain they did this. And they have improved so dramatically that if you put the lion next to, for example, the raccoon, because I think the raccoon is the best modeled animal to date. That's my personal opinion. I think the raccoon is so freaking spot on. If you have the correct lighting and the correct angle, it looks real. You can get a photorealistic photo of it. But no matter what you do with the lion, you will never make it look real because it's looking like comic-y, and it's looking really a lot more close to what the people look in Planet Zoo rather than the actual animals. So, I mean, there might be people who like this, but then obviously we would have needed to have this style going through the entire game, which we clearly haven't. So yeah, at the end of the day, I'm very happy with the quality they have brought in. So it's really, for my personal feelings. I think Europack was the first one where I was personally not really amazed by the animals because being European and so on. But then I was completely convinced about this pack once I saw the quality of the animals. And that's the same with this pack, honestly, though. Especially because all the animals come with a whole bunch of new animations, which is really dope.
This is way too cute.
It is.
I'm sorry. I was completely distracted by this wombat being absolutely the cutest thing ever. Yeah, talking about animations, I don't have the animals in here, but I saw the skunk spraying like it's stinky, whatever.
Oh yeah, I saw that as well. I was super confused.
Yes,
I just saw it once, and it's really good.
It's insane, and it has like several little variations in it. It's really, really cool.
And also the raccoon is tumbling over a couple of times, like, sometimes from enrichment items, but sometimes just like while trying to lie down, they just tumble over before. That's so cool.
All right, okay. This was a cool area, but there's another area I want to go to. So
then let's do it.
Through the magic of whoosh, 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 we're going.
That's the best sound effect ever.
Exactly.
I should hire you as a sound expert for Frontier. Next time you open the menu,
the only thing I ask in return, Frontier, is give me my mustache in this game. I have the one that's in a different direction, but I need one that goes up.
Okay.
That's going to be the thing that I'm going to start a petition for.
So that's the thing, guys. Now, because people still believe that we as influencers have actual influence on the DLCs, so here you have it. The next DLC is actually going to be the mustache DLC.
There are several animals with mustaches. I'm just saying, like there is potential.
Oh gosh, I can't remember what was already here and what not. I forgot.
Well,
but this is definitely haven't been here. The bats weren't in, so yeah.
So this was already here. This was what Mike did, because Mike.
He likes holes.
Yeah, he goes crazy. But we have bats now, and we have a cave. So it was kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So we have.
Okay, wait. Before you go in, that'll mark, I guess, the first ever episode in which an exhibit animal has a real big place in it. I mean, granted, Mike did the micro house, but that was like a whole bunch of animals.
Yeah. So that doesn't really count.
No, it doesn't.
But yeah. So.
Yeah. I see what you did. I had something else in mind, but that's even better.
Yeah. So I didn't want to take away from like the beautiful sinkhole that we have here. I think it's really
still
cool.
I still can't get over the fact that I once decided to make a sinkhole. Anyways.
And I like the idea of it going like, oh yeah, you still have to go like around the corner to and here we go, autosave. And I think YouTube.
You needed to go for that pun, didn't you?
I had to. Okay, so
I give it to you.
I think YouTube is going to hate me now because I made a dark cave for bats. So,
but if it's Planet Zoo Dark, it's not too bad, guys. I mean, it's... Or is it actually because of the right... Oh, it is. Yeah, because you have the right side. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Here we go. I hope it's visible enough for everyone.
I mean, for me it is, so...
Okay, let's hope YouTube likes me and compresses this in a way that everyone can still see things. Okay, so Rudi, we're going to talk about the bats, and
we have to, I guess, right?
Yes, we have to. There are bats here. Okay, so for a bunch of people, there's going to be good news and there's going to be bad news. No pun intended here. Let's start with the good news. As you can see, there's no box. I didn't hide any walls here because you can actually turn off the walls. You can turn off the roof. You can turn it all off. And it isn't just like, oh, I can turn off all the walls and all the roofs at once. You can do that. But you can also decide like, okay, I only want one wall to be visible. I don't want the other walls to be visible. Also, these new flaps are incredible. They respond to the guests, which is amazing. So you have full control. There are 4 options, if I remember correctly. There's a chain link one, a glass one, a
null
solid
one, and the solid. Yeah, exactly.
And the solid roof one. And here my roof is still the solid piece, so it has these things. But however, and I think to some people this might be bad news. I think a lot of people kind of expected this to be a major overhaul to how the exhibit system works.
That's not. Sorry
that's
for spoiling.
Not the case. Yeah, exactly. This is not free flying. This is not point-to-point flying as we expected it to be. These are as much exhibits as all the other exhibits in the game. So they spawn at a certain spawn point. Some of those spawn points are predefined. Some are tuggable. And they will play an animation and they will repeat that animation until you move your camera, and they spawn on
again.
On a different location. Exactly.
So basically, and this is the point where I can't hold back, there are just so many things when I opened the game and saw this where I was like, why? I just, like, this question didn't go off my brain that evening. So they gave us the amazing options to make it like null and the different types of wall pieces, which is great. So don't get me wrong. After having this for a couple of days now, of course the animations are super repetitive, and of course I would have loved to have it more free flying, blah blah. But I think for a specific roster of animals, this could be a good solution because of the freedom of making it a null element, like some bugs and some butterflies maybe, or make very tiny birds like the hummingbird, for example, or something like that, with a lot of special enrichment items in there, because you can toggle them just like as in any other ones. But then again, Frontier spent so much free update stuff to overhaul the small exhibits, and they did not include the null option. It just can't get into my brain why you wouldn't, because then I think my whole feeling for that would have been massively different, because I would have said, okay, see, they just gave us a second option, a bigger one now. And the second missed chance, in my opinion, is we have a couple of exhibit animals which are clearly too big for the exhibits there, in like the iguanas or the anaconda, for example, or the boa. I just can't understand why they didn't move them into this bigger one, for example. This would have been a totally different story then, but unfortunately I have to say it just feels like only halfway done at this point. I have to be that honest. It's great to have the beds, and you can see you can do some cool stuff with it. The fact that you have like the walkway in there and all the different kind of perching points and stuff, it's usable. Don't get me wrong. It's better than the typical small exhibit. But then again,
Yeah, I think for me, and here in this dark cave, it's much less noticeable. So I'm happy for that. I think for me, I always expected this was going to be like the other exhibit boxes. So I never thought it was going to be point-to-point flying or free flying.
I just thought because it was so big,
Yeah, I just thought like, okay, if Frontier says exhibit, so then I thought, okay, it's going to be like an exhibit. But I think for me, it's not that noticeable when it's dark and when you have to like really look for the animals. But if you only have a few bats, if you have like 5 bats and it's in the open air, then I can tell you that the loop is very, very noticeable.
Oh yeah.
And that's my thing with it. I don't mind it that much that it's a pure exhibit. I wish it was completely null, because some of the items, like this item and the bat box in the back, will always be there. You can't change those. But for me, it's the fact, like, you've seen this little bat fly in circles here over and over and over again. And for me, if the animation loops were just a little bit longer, or if it was just able to like switch between, okay, this is the loop that I'm playing now, and after that I'm going to play
that's
a different
almost
loop.
like point to point. That's what I meant with point to point, because it's legit not that much more. It just makes the calculatable variations just so much more crazy by the same amount of work, because you could just legit take the same loops but just connect the different perch points with each other and then just randomize them. See, just to, if people don't understand out there, it's like kind of a programming thing. But if you have, for example, 4 different points, imagine you've got 4 points and the outer 4 are like shaped like a triangle, and the 4th point is right in the middle of that triangle. And then imagine there is an animation looping between all of the outer points and the middle point. And then the game could always decide to go from the outer to the inner, or from one outer to the other outer. And so with this one triangle, you have like, oh my god, now I have to calculate way too many options. Okay, so you've got way more than 4 options. You would have like 4 by 4, I think 16, right? 16 options should be the
Don't look at me for that. That's the one part of mathematics that I absolutely suck at. I am very good with like other stuff, but don't let me calculate chances, because nope, no way that I'm able
but anyways,
to do that.
you get the point. See, you would have there were only 4 animations to be programmed, but you have 16 variations that could be looped after each other, and it would be way less noticeable.
Yeah. So
but
I am so stuck right now.
So we can just look a little bit more at all these wonderful animations. But I still love what you've done here with the Bat Cave. Don't get me wrong, it's really cool.
And I think it kind of works. I think the loop isn't as noticeable when it's dark, but I think I've gotten to terms with it at this point, and if you have a bunch of bats, there's always enough movement that you don't really feel like, oh no, things are constantly looped. Um, so does this change my overall feeling for the pack? No, for me personally, it doesn't, because I wasn't expecting anything but this. I was pleasantly surprised by all the scenery pieces. We talked about it
Yes.
at the start.
Yes.
Like, the themed pieces are still realistic, as in we have carved pumpkins which can be used at zoos. Like the mushrooms are not giant, so you can still use them for like children areas and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and all the other stuff fits in seamlessly with the Europack stuff. So if you're more interested in building like the typical European zoos with old buildings and cool things, like that will work fantastically. So for me, if you are a builder and if you were afraid that this was going to be an Arctic Pack Part 2, where it's like a bunch of pieces that you feel like aren't really usable and are over themed, that's absolutely not the case. It's filled with really interesting pieces, so I seriously suggest anyone who's into building should buy this. The bats are a little bit of a disappointment, I'm not going to lie about that, but other than that, I'm quite happy. I had mixed feelings at the start when it was announced, but I have to admit, I'm a bigger fan of it now since I've played with it than when I originally saw the pack.
I mean, I can agree with almost all of the points, but I would change this from my point of view a little bit. I think for me, it was the other way around. I thought this pack could be like a huge hit in a positive way, because I really thought, okay, they implemented this type of exhibit as a mini aviary to open up, for the future. And because the choice of the bat was so specific, and I really had high hopes because of a lot of things we know from Jurassic World Evolution, for example, and I really thought they might open this up. So obviously in the first seconds that was like a huge bummer for me. Maybe I have to work on my expectation management again. But I seriously thought so. I seriously believed this could be at least a scrap down free flying mode. I would have been perfectly fine with a point to point, but then I meant like point to point as in climbing pieces. You put like a branch in, and this has 2 perching points, for example, and that creates a new loop. That would have been absolutely top notch for me. That would be more than enough. So that would have been just as I explained in my video. So it wasn't, and obviously then I thought, okay, this pack might like kind of something for me. But I have to admit that, as you said, the pieces are insanely useful. I mean, obviously I'm emotionally biased here because I just started a Sicilian themed zoo, which, I mean, that's like the pack for me. And I honestly, when I mean, we talked about this as well. When I chose to go for a Sicilian pack, I thought, okay, I lost any chances of getting anything useful in the future because everyone thought we were going to South America again or Asia or whatever, but not Europe once again. But here we are. So this is why I think the pack is super useful. But also I want to add one more point. Just in general, I think the animal roster, we have to talk about that briefly. For me personally, I just really want to stretch that personally. It's not like the super crazy roster of animals.
Yeah, no, for me neither.
But I can definitely tell that these are a lot of fan favorites, A, and B, these are like, maybe this is the best pack in terms of common animals in European zoos. In many other temperate located zoos. So definitely some very good place fillers and zoo fillers. And I mean that in the most positive possible way, because we were still lacking smaller animals. Medium-sized animals, not prairie dogs kind of small, but like medium-sized animals. And I think therefore this is you could have also labeled this as the medium-sized animal pack, for example. It's really good. And obviously, as a fan of new animations and just in general new behaviors, that's definitely one of the best packs, because every single animal comes with a totally new behavior to them. I mean, even this animal over here, the bat, brings its own new habitat with it. Which animal did not do that before?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm in the same camp. I felt the same. I'm happy with the animals that we've got now. Would I have wanted a Tasmanian devil and a sloth, for instance? Yeah. But I'm okay with the animals we have, and the scenery just does it for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been talking about it for a long while now. I haven't got much more to show. I'm sorry.
But it's good. Let's quickly talk.
I was limited.
Yeah, but I think it just, we didn't have enough praise for you, but it looks really good, and you filled in some really good gaps. I mean,
Thank you.
Sorry if people might just be a little bit confused, because I sometimes cover big areas, sometimes smaller, but Koali hasn't that much space left. So you have to give Iben that. He really managed to squeeze something beautiful into a very small space, and it just works perfectly fine. So very big props, mate. Really well done.
Thank you so much, man. All right, we've been rambling for like 30 minutes now. I think it's time to wrap up. This was episode 49. So
really?
yeah, so we
More
might
pressure
have
for
to.
the next one.
Yeah, maybe we need to do like an overview video for the 50th episode. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video, and well, bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.